Hi, how are you? How are you? Good. Happy to see you joining us this morning.
Oh, that's sweet. I've been back there for about 7, 8 years.
Yeah, there's a short test and a fire. That's it. Good morning.
Interpreted on the record, yes.
It was interpreted. The person was reading in Spanish too. While I was reading.
So the person
Okay, and five. That's easy. Very easy.
So this two matches this two in English.
Because I don't read Spanish.
State of where?
Should have had the smell.
Oh, I know. I'm not. That's not my jam. There are others, but that's not that.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, you're teal. Yeah. Well, and I have a list of questions. Actually, you want to see it? Okay. No, that's right. I did tell you the last time, and you were good with it. All right.
You want me to take the trial? Oh, the clerk has them. Who's in there now? She has them. Yeah, no, the clerk who's assigned there today has them. Yeah, I left everything for her since I couldn't keep them up here because she can't come in during this
No, I
time.
don't read or write. Should he sign this one? Oh, we got the pink one. Get quick one.
When you got the prints, right?
The print's for. Thank you, sir. How slow do I need to go?
With an interpreter.
I mean, she could print it out and print it on there.
Somebody from interpreter services. Don't know who they're sending.
I mean, you don't know them all, like, a special request?
No.
I'm just standing up, sorry. I'm just standing up.
Oh, yeah, question.
No, thank you.
I understand.
Can I have your name?
Patty Harlow.
Get a haircut?
Okay. Were you here last time? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's-
So I'm like, I recognize that
The
name.
shaggy Brit.
The last time we were in here.
Patty, you should stay and hang out for the trial that's going on afterwards. It's those wiretap cases. Remember all the depots you did like years ago? Just one of them today, yeah. His name is Terrence Moore. His attorney is Brian Edwards. So, yeah, we had one out in Hendry last week. We had one here so far last year, and then one out in Hendry last week. This one this week. So
what happens if they just
denied. Yeah, but that case is still pending. So, but I was like, oh yeah, Patty had the pleasure of dealing with like all 20, whatever it was, defense attorneys and depots. I did. What happened with wages? Okay. Okay. So it's still set for trial in April at this point, though, right? Yeah. Oh.
Oh, look at Natalie acting like she's going to do something with a joy.
Oh my God, the guy from yesterday showed back up. The guy who went missing. Oh, he's back.
What is he, the phantom, the guy, the jury that...
Is he in the back? Oh. Yeah. Back there? She's going to bring the interpreter with her. Yeah.
I'm in trouble, I have two small...
That's not our person. Unless it's easier.
He said
Yeah,
he went back
because
to the
we're about 5 minutes away.
Yeah, I didn't even Yeah, I know. I know.
Next time we see each other, he said he had to smoke way time. He didn't have two of these. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Todo bien? ¿Veniste bien? Sí.
How you doing this morning?
Dicen, ¿cómo estás?
Okay, we're going to have the plea today.
Vamos a tener el negocio esta mañana.
They will be sentenced today.
Va a sentenciar hoy.
I need you to acknowledge this is the plea form. That's your signature, correct?
Este tú firmaste aquí, ¿sí?
And then on the Spanish one,
En español.
that's your signature.
Esto es el firmaste usted, ¿sí?
And that we have answered all of your questions.
Todas las funciones que tú preguntaste, ellos se explicaron todo bien, ¿sí? ¿Ya?
And then you understand what we're doing.
Tú puedes entender todo, ¿no? ¿Ya?
So, did they drive you over by yourself today?
Tú caminas solo. Caminando solo esta mañana. Ya.
Okay, so everything is good.
Todo está bien esta mañana. Sí, estás bien.
When we're done here,
Cuando nosotros terminamos hoy,
we're going to work on trying to get the cars.
vamos a tratar para coger los máquinas para usted.
And we'll also talk with the jail about you won't do anything stupid.
Ellos van a hablar con él en la cárcel para todo estar bien. Sí.
We'll try.
Vamos a tratar mucho, ¿ok?
So a lot of people are going to say a lot of bad things about you.
La familia va a hablar no bien esta mañana.
Just stay control.
Se calmaron como nosotros hablamos ayer. Pongan aquí, está bien, ¿ok?
And we'll get back together.
¿Sí? ¿Necesita algo? ¿Está bien?
Can we get some sense the way they've been doing things the last year or so?
We'll get him something.
Puede.
Fred is not going to say anything, and I don't think he should because Grace
Can you put him back so we can get a drink of water?
just shouldn't.
Kevin, you take him back.
Vamos a
She's not the interpreter. You're good.
We're still waiting on an interpreter.
Yes, we're still waiting.
Okay. I just texted the one.
I think she's the mitigation expert,
I think so.
right? She speaks Spanish also, but she was just speaking Spanish. No, so she can be the interpreter. She got a course certified. Dog hair is it's not great. It's better than boogers and. Oh, that's true. Well, it's dog boogers too, though, and they're really big. It's two big snot-nosed piece. How's Hammy? He's doing okay. He's not doing that. We're having a really hard time getting him stable. He's like twice a day now. Yeah. So he takes it in the morning and night or something? Like after he eats in the morning and after he eats at 7 and 7. So also, like, we have strict schedule now.
That makes sense.
Did Pete take the kids this morning?
Yeah, he did. I mean, you know, he still acts like okay and stuff for the most part. He has days where he's like, you know, like, definitely like a little bit slower. But we thought we like had it under control like right away, and then all of a sudden,
Hammy.
Court on the order of arms. Circuit Court in Fort Lee County is now in session. The Honorable Margaret O. Steinbeck, Judge presiding.
Good morning. Please be seated.
we're still waiting on
Please be seated. So we're waiting on a Spanish language interpreter.
Yes, Your Honor, we confirmed with court admin yesterday, and our assistant is out there making another phone call.
We have a terrible interpreter shortage around the state. I'll tell you that in requesting additional resources from the legislature for interpreter services, I've said, I have had an entire courtroom waiting for the limited resource of interpreter services. And so clearly we can't go forward until we have an interpreter. And this, I think, well, this is bad use of everyone's time, but I know we all want to get started as soon as an interpreter comes. And if you all get any word that we're not going to get anyone, we also, I think, in my office confirmed Ms. Fitzgeorge. So I think we've done what we can. I don't know.
He's on his way. His name is Dennis. He should be here in a couple of minutes.
We're sure he's on his way. Dennis should be here in a couple of minutes.
Okay. That's a very good sign.
Good morning, Arna.
Good morning.
Sorry I'm late.
I'm going to go ahead and put you under oath. Do you solemnly swear or affirm you will make a true and correct translation from English into Spanish, Spanish into English, questions asked, answers given, statements made in open court to the best of your ability?
I do, Your Honor. Dennis Ogarra Estrada, staff interpreter.
So we are here in case number 18 CF 209, State versus Jorge Manuel Guerrero-Torres. I'm Judge Margaret Steinbeck. I will ask counsel to please state their appearances for the record.
Amira Fox, Francine Donnarumma, and Natalie Savino on behalf of the state, Your Honor.
Jay Brazel, Kathleen Fitzgeorge, Carl Morgan for Mr. Guerrero-Torres. Mr. Guerrero-Torres is present with us today with an interpreter.
And as I've previously told you, Mr. Guerrero-Torres, if you have any difficulty understanding the proceedings, please let your attorney or me know right away. We are scheduled either to resolve the charges today by way of a negotiated plea or resolution, or alternatively have a pretrial conference so that we can determine when trial and motions will be set. Have the parties been able to reach an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
So what are the terms?
Your Honor, in exchange for a plea of guilty to count 1, which is first-degree murder, a capital offense, and count 2, kidnapping, which is a life felony, Mr. Guerrero-Torres shall be adjudicated guilty as to both counts of the indictment filed May the 3rd, 2018, and be sentenced to the Florida Department of Corrections for a sentence of life without the possibility of release on each count. Count 1 and 2 shall be served concurrent with each other, as well as concurrent with the federal sentence Mr. Guerrero-Torres is serving in United States of America versus Jorge Guerrero-Torres, which is 2:16-CR-68-FTM-38.
Do you need that repeated?
Yes.
Go slower. We're trying to make a minutes sheet.
2:16-CR-68-FTM-38. The state of Florida nor the court can guarantee where Mr. Guerrero-Torres will serve his sentence. However, the state of Florida does not object to Mr. Guerrero-Torres serving out the remainder of his federal sentence in federal prison before being relocated to the Florida Department of Corrections to continue serving his sentence of life without the possibility of release. Mr. Guerrero-Torres was under federal sentence as of May 17th, 2017, and we believe the federal government does have initial jurisdiction. However, this court cannot order. It is between the Department of Corrections and the Bureau of Prisons. But the state has no objection if Bureau of Prisons says we get to go first.
That's fine, I have no objection.
Mr. Guerrero-Torres shall have no contact with the family of Diana Alvarez. Mr. Guerrero-Torres shall provide a DNA sample to the FDLE DNA database. Mr. Guerrero-Torres shall be designated as a sexual predator as per Florida Statute 775.21. There will be an order and reserve of restitution to the benefit of Rita Hernandez. Court cost of $413. Cost of prosecution, $31,790.24. Public defender application fee of $50. Defense counsel fees of $100. $151 to the Rape Crisis Trust Fund per Florida Statute 938.085. $151 to the Crimes Against Minors Fund under 938.10.
And that says to count 2.
Yes.
How's the sexual predator designation appropriate for only counts 1 and 2? It's a question I don't know the answer to.
The answer is, per Florida statute, anyone who is convicted of kidnapping of a minor shall be designated. We pulled the statute in case you need to read it. But
No, that's okay.
it is
As a sexual
mandatory.
predator, the parties are in agreement. That's the law, correct?
Yes, and I have.
That's fine. I just want to make, is the state going to dismiss count 3 of the indictment
Yes.
as part of the agreement?
Yes.
Okay, continue, Mr. Griselle.
Those are the terms. We have executed a plea form in English, and we also have a copy in Spanish. Multiple times I've gone over the plea form through an interpreter. We officially had our investigator, Andrea Gomez from the Public Defender's Office, sign off because I read in English, she read off the Spanish plea form.
And she's bilingual.
She is bilingual. And we have signed both plea forms. I've shown the plea forms to Ms. Donnarummo. And if I missed any of the terms?
No, I've only signed the English form. I did not sign the Spanish.
Mr. Guerrero-Torres, your attorney has just been explaining the terms of an agreed sentence that he believes you've agreed to. You are, as I understand the terms, going to plead guilty to first-degree murder and guilty to kidnapping in exchange for the state dropping the lewd or lascivious molestation charge and not seeking the death penalty. Is it correct that you wish to plead guilty to counts 1 and 2 for the agreed life sentence as explained by Mr. Brazel?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to put you under oath because I'm required by law to make sure that you understand all of the rights you are waiving by pleading guilty in exchange for that agreed sentence. If you don't understand any of the questions, you should ask your lawyer or me to explain to you. It is important that you understand. Please raise your right hand so that I can place you under oath. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Mr. Guerrero-Torres, I am going to request that Ms. Donna Romo, one of the prosecutors, ask you the question you about your waiver of rights. So please listen to her questions and answer them truthfully. If you would proceed, Ms. Donna Romo.
Thank you, Your Honor. Please state your name.
Diga su nombre.
Guerrero-Torres. Jorge Manuel Guerrero-Torres.
Guerrero-Torres. Jorge Manuel Guerrero-Torres.
And I'm going to ask Ms. Fitzgeorge if you would pull the microphone closer to the defendant so that I can. Thank you.
Nacimiento, señor.
No estoy muy seguro.
I am not very certain about my date of birth.
How old are you?
¿Cuántos años tiene usted?
Entre 34. Creo que...
Between 34, I think.
Do you have a social security number?
¿Número de seguro social?
Creo que no.
I don't think so.
Have you ever gone by another name?
¿Una vez la ha conocido usted por otro nombre?
No, solo
no.
por mi nombre.
Always my name.
Where were you born?
¿Nació usted?
En México.
En México.
Where in Mexico?
Parte de México.
Ojo de Agua de Mendoza.
The interpreter requires a petition. ¿Puede decirlo en voz alta?
Ojo de Agua de Mendoza.
Agua de Mendoza.
Sí, Ojo de Agua de Mendoza.
Ojo de Agua de Mendoza.
How far did you go in school?
¿Hasta qué grado llegó usted en la escuela?
No fui a la escuela.
I didn't go to school.
Can you read or understand the English language?
¿Idioma inglés?
No entiendo poquito inglés, pero sí entiendo el español.
No, I understand a little bit of English, but I do understand Spanish.
Can you read, write, and understand the Spanish language?
¿Idioma español?
Sí, un poquito.
Yes, a little.
Do you understand your interpreter and what they're saying to you?
¿Y lo que le está diciendo el intérprete a usted?
Sí.
Yes.
So even though you cannot read and write all of the Spanish language, you can understand it when spoken?
¿Entiende cuando se le habla el español?
Sí, entiendo.
Yes, I do.
In what language has the interpreter and your attorneys been speaking to you?
El abogado le ha hablado a usted.
Por en medio de un intérprete que habla español.
Through an interpreter who speaks Spanish.
And you understand the interpreters,
¿Entiende el
correct?
intérprete? Correcto.
Sí.
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol?
¿Influencia de alguna droga o alcohol en este momento?
No.
No.
Are you taking any
¿Algún
medications?
medicamento?
No.
No.
Are you suffering from a mental condition or disorder?
¿O enfermedad mental?
No.
No.
Do you understand why we are here today?
¿Está usted aquí hoy?
Sí.
Yes.
You are currently charged by indictment with first-degree murder,
Asesinato.
kidnapping, and lewd or lascivious molestation.
Libidinoso lujurioso.
Do you understand?
¿Usted lo entiende? Yes.
Do you understand that count 1, first-degree murder, is punishable by life, and the state has filed a death penalty notice in that particular charge?
Ha eliminado la pena de muerte en ese cargo específico.
Sí.
Yes.
You are also charged with kidnapping of a minor, which is a life felony. Do you understand?
Grave, que también castigable cadena perpetua, ¿lo entiende?
Sí.
Yes.
And the charge of lewd or lascivious molestation of a child under the age of 12 is also a life felony. Do you understand?
La condena la cadena perpetua, ¿lo entiende?
¿Mande?
Excuse me?
You are currently charged with count 3 as well, lewd or lascivious molestation of a child under the age of 3. Do you understand that you are currently charged with that, but we are going to be amending the charges,
Vamos a corregir los cargos.
dropping that charge.
Vamos a sobreseer o retirar ese cargo, ¿lo entiende?
Sí.
Yes.
In exchange for your plea of guilty here today to the first-degree murder in the kidnapping of a minor,
En primer grado, y
the state will be dropping or null prosing count 3 on the indictment. Do you understand?
acusación formal, ¿usted lo entiende?
Sí.
Yes.
The state will also no longer seek the death penalty in exchange for your plea of guilty for the only sentence available, which is life.
La única sentencia disponible es cerrar cadena perpetua.
Sí.
Yes.
As to count 1, first-degree murder, how do you plead?
¿Cómo se declara?
Culpable.
Guilty.
As to count 2,
Cargo número 2.
kidnapping of a minor, how do you plead?
¿Cómo se declara?
Culpable.
Guilty.
The state will announce a null pros in count 3 on the indictment.
Cargo número 3, la acusación formal.
Do you understand, by entering this plea, you are waiving your right to a trial by jury?
Conjurado.
Sí.
Yes.
Do you understand you are also waiving your right to have the jury determine your guilt or innocence?
Su inocencia.
Sí.
Yes.
Do you understand you're waiving your right to see and hear the state witnesses testify and have your lawyer question them?
Los interrogue.
Sí.
Yes.
Do you understand you are waiving your right to subpoena, call your own witnesses, and submit evidence on your own behalf?
Pruebas a nombre propio.
Sí.
Yes.
Do you understand you are waiving your right to testify in your own defense or to remain silent?
Permanecer en silencio.
Sí.
Yes.
Do you understand that you are waiving your right to make the state prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt in exchange for your plea here today?
Declaratoria aquí hoy.
Sí.
Yes.
Counsel, have you reserved any matters for appeal?
We have not reserved any matters for appeal, and upon sentencing, any pending motions would become moot, and we would not be looking to go forward on them.
Nosotros vamos a retirar.
Counsel, has the defense filed or feels compelled to file any motions related to the competency of Mr. Guerrero-Torres?
We do not feel any punction to file based on competency.
Ninguna necesidad de tramitar una petición por competencia.
Mr. Guerrero-Torres, do you understand that any and all outstanding motions will be considered withdrawn or not ruled upon?
Sobre las que no se habrá dictaminado.
Sí.
Yes.
This would include, there is a pending motion to suppress the cell phone and its contents. Do you understand there will be no ruling upon that motion?
Fallo dictamen sobre esa petición.
Sí.
Yes.
If this case went to trial.
Eso fuera juicio.
Without the court's ruling,
En el dictamen.
the death penalty would still be a possibility if there was a trial.
Juicio. How was that?
With your plea here today, the case will not be going to trial.
No irá a juicio.
However,
Sin embargo,
if the case were to go to trial,
a juicio,
the judge would have to make a determination whether or not they could legally impose the death penalty based upon a motion filed by your attorneys.
Sí, entiendo.
Yes, I understand.
And do you agree with that process?
Sí.
Yes.
To explain, Mr. Guerrero-Torres, none of the motions that have been filed by your attorney on your behalf, including motions that would prevent the state from using the contents of your cell phone, and motions that would prevent the state from asking a jury to impose or vote in favor of the death penalty. None of those motions will be heard if you decide that you are in fact going forward with your guilty plea this morning. Do you understand that?
Sí, yo lo entiendo.
Yes, I do.
And the only two issues that you would be able to raise on appeal if you plea today are whether this court has jurisdiction over the crimes that you've been charged with. I will tell you, I'm a felony judge in Lee County, Florida. I believe these crimes arose. I believe I do have jurisdiction, but you would have the right, as every defendant, that issue if you had a basis to raise it, even if you plea today. So you reserve that right to challenge jurisdiction. A life sentence on a murder charge and a life sentence on a kidnapping charge. I believe those are lawful sentences. But if they are not, you would have the right to appeal on that issue. But those are the only two issues you are reserving for appeal. Do you understand that?
Sí, entiendo.
Yes, I do.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have some documents that I would like to put in front of your attorney and yourself, sir. First is a score sheet
That only has the one charge.
Es el lado de puntuación.
¿Dónde firmo?
Where should I sign?
Oh, okay.
You also have a plea form in English and in Spanish. Did your attorneys go over the plea forms with you with the benefit of a Spanish interpreter?
Sí.
Yes.
First off, did you review the plea forms with you?
Sí.
Yes.
Did you understand the plea forms as they were spelled out for you?
Tal y como se lo leyeron o explicaron.
Sí.
Yes.
Do you have any questions about your rights that are contained within the plea form or the plea forms? You put your signature on the last page. Is that your signature, sir?
Correcto, esa es la firma de usted.
Sí.
Yes.
And the plea forms are both in English and in Spanish, correct?
En español, correcto.
Sí.
Yes.
There's also a proposed order finding the defendant a sexual predator. I'll ask your attorney to review it and then walk it to you.
Y que se lo enseño, muestre usted.
That the judge is going to sign, which is proper.
El juez va a firmar y es apropiado.
Of the plea forms is the date for indication of a signature. It is the incorrect.
La fecha incorrecta.
did you have the opportunity to review the score sheet with your client?
We have.
And is it a capital offense? For the documents, Your Honor.
Yes.